This video is a gap up video, and I want to thank you for taking the time to look at the videos on this website. I'm not sure if you're investigating or if you're convinced about how effective the system is, but excuse me, either way, I want to thank you for at least looking at what I've got. We're convinced it's the best system in the market, but if you're not convinced, just keep viewing the indicators or viewing the videos. But all kidding aside, it's an amazing system. The one or the chart that we're going to look at is TSRO, and this is in the June 29th of 2016. There was a gap up, and excuse me, I'm going to go over the reasons why this was a good-looking gap up or a good-looking move up. Until you do your investigations, you're not always certain. Also, let me comment, if you find one or two patterns, that's great. If you find 4 or 5, that's better. If you're finding 6 to 10, that's fantastic. And not all of them are necessarily going to be patterns. Like, for example, one of the first ones, the first thing that I noticed was, again, I look at trend red almost all the time first. Trend red is at minus 121. And if you've heard me comment at all about trend red's reversing range, typically within minus 40 to about minus 180, it responds very effectively in a reversal price up pattern. Now, that being said, it responds much more effectively if all 7 short-term trend lines are up versus all 7 going down. So relatively speaking, with other conditions inside of the specific stock that you're looking at, trend red will reverse up nicely between that range. It'll even do nicely at 30 or 25 on many occasions, but we kind of talk about that. It's nice if it hits minus 40, and then excuse me, and then it will respond well. One of the other things inside of here that I'll comment on is on the zip chart. Again, zip gray is under zip red, and when you've heard me possibly in the past, maybe you haven't heard this before, but now zip red is actually in a low angle up, as is zip gray. But on both days, zip gray is under zip red. And when zip gray is lowest, the upturn is usually very good. We see that a lot in red spikes. When you have a red zip red that goes down, it's great if zip red goes down over 30 points in a spike. When you get a zip red line that goes down 30 points, and then you have a zip gray that's lower, and it can be just a hair lower, it can be 3, 4, 5 points lower, but when it's lower, it really goes back up nicely. So when you find those, they're a real easy buy long scenario. The other aspect that we see on here is zip yellow is I'll say zip yellow is lowest, and you can obviously look at it and see that zip green is lower than that. But when I say that, I literally mean that, because Zip Green and Zip Zion really don't count in our formulas within the 22 market force recognition indicators. Now, they are part of the 22, okay? But they don't calculate the same type of, they don't calculate market forces like the other indicators calculate market forces. Zip Green and Zip Zion calculate buyers in and out of the market. It calculates trades. And so it's a buyer count, not necessarily a pressure, market pressure factor. And so that so that's why I say oftentimes we do not include Zip Green and Zip Zion in the in a calculation that's lowest or highest or whatever. That being said, when you don't have Zip Green there, you have Zip Yellow lowest and Power Yellow lowest. And you've undoubtedly, if you've spent any time looking at the videos or reading any of the literature, you know the relationship between Zip Yellow and Power Yellow, and how it when they move together highest and they're going down, you can just count on it as a nice downtrend until one of them disappears or they both hit bottom. Excuse me. And so that fact that Zip Yellow and Power Yellow are lowest is a strong point in the possibility that they would go up. It doesn't necessarily mean that they would go up. It's just like trend red being at -21. It doesn't mean it couldn't be a low angle down tomorrow, but it does mean that it's in that range. Significantly nice range. The prime range is like -80 to -120, and you know, I mean, even 60 is good. But anyway, it can get a little weak over 150, but usually up to -180, the trend red reaction to reverse price up is there. The next thing that I saw on here, the Power Red was in a low angle down, and that being said, we have, if you haven't seen it, we have a big 3 here, which is the trend red, the Power Red, and the Zip Zion. Now, Power Red is not the lowest, but Power Red comes in at -2.08, and Power Yellow, the lowest, is 2.02. So you can see it's 0.06 of a point apart, and that's close enough where you can, I mean, you can count either one as lowest from that perspective. So we really have a big 3 lowest scenario here as well. Excuse me. And again, if you've heard me talk about the big 4, when you have Zip Yellow lowest or real low with the big 3, it's counted as the big 4. And actually what's the big 4 is Zip Red is down and lowest. But the one that really counts is when Zip Yellow is down and lowest. And that I've explained on a few other videos. Hope you've got that idea. But when you have those 4 down, significant reversal activity takes place. The other thing we have here too is swing pink is in a low angle up, and swing pink and Zip Red are your 2 fastest lines in the system. They're leading indicators. These indicators pick up tiny market force pressures or movements before the big price increase occurs. It's not always a gap like in this example, but can be just a 1 day up, or it can be a uptrend of 3 to 5 days. But the point is, the sensitive indicators pick up those tiny market force movements before the big price movements take place. Now, swing Zion is down, and with swing pink up, those two are paired lines, and they're divergent. And so that is a strong indication to increased reaction to whatever is going to occur. And obviously, with everything at the bottom, the likely occurrence is to go up. And so that's one of the divergent situations inside of this example. Trend gray is also in a down touch blue, and Zip Zion is in a bottlenose, and Power Zion is in a bottlenose also. The other key thing is that Zip Green is in a pinpoint underneath. It's at the bottom at 0, and when it sticks its nose out, like you see in this example right here, that is really typical of a up next day up. And like the Zip Gray being under Zip Red, when Zip Green drops down to 0 like that, and the other lines are flat above it like they are, that's just a real strong indication that you're going to have a pinpoint Zip Green bottom. And pink in this case, Zip Pink is at 7.84, and it is almost, except for Zip Zion, Zip Pink is the highest line in that bunch. And they're gathered together so tightly you can't even see it in the video, I'm sure. But all that being said now, the aspect of this pattern, if you will, or condition is, I've identified basically 10 items that would be conducive to a nice uptrend, or next day up rather. At this point, with so many there, it's likely to be an uptrend. But my point being that if I found this item when it was before the close, I would buy this long at the end of the day, because there's just that much information that says it's going to be, it's going to go up in some fashion. Everything is just prime. It's just like trend red at 121. That's prime. That, however, or I shouldn't maybe not say however, but that leads us to this screen right here. And I want to point this out because this is the screen for the radar screen alert system. And down at the very bottom of it, you will see 3 days up and 3 days down. This is one of the indicators that we have inside the alert system. And you'd basically, on a 3-day down pattern like we have, you would basically have a gray box with a red text in it. So the letters would, each indicator has a number, and that number is the value of that indicator. And if you have 22 indicators across the board inside of radar screen, you then would have a large number. In this example here, if you had that screen up and you had SRO inside the screen, you would get, well, swing pink is up, swing red and gray are up, and all the rest of the lines are down. So you would have 19 lines registering a gray box with a red text. And that's a classic one pattern example of a gap up. And the 3 up and down actually act like a bottlenose up and down, but you don't always register the bottlenose. And so we discovered that long ago and incorporated the 3 days up with the bottlenose up and the 3 days down with the bottlenose down. So it's exciting. I tell you, I am amazed at what information we can pick up. The other thing too, I'll comment on. Some people are interested in writing code for indicators, and we really encourage that. We've got roughly 350 pre-built indicators that are within the system that you can use. All you got to do is click it open to put it into the scanner or radar screen or whatever you're doing. And we really encourage you to utilize those. If you one of the hard parts that are more difficult aspects of trading is to find the trade, and that's why we incorporated the aftermarket alert system and the gap alert system. And that chart that that page that I just showed you is the color chart for the gap up system. And there's some people would think that the price might be something that's not logical for them, but I tell you, when you can find a handful of gaps in a month, even, I mean, you should be able to find more than that, but if you can find a handful in a month, you're going to be amazed at excuse me. You're going to be amazed at how your portfolio can grow. So that's a decision you got to make inside of how you're trading and what you're doing and how effective you are. One of the greatest parts about this system is the procedural power. It's called the procedural power is the process that you go through in studying and analyzing the indicators in relation to the market forces and pressures, and that continual process day after day builds upon itself and it grows. And that procedural power, we call it, where you're analyzing and analyzing every day, you learn the system more effectively each day. You're better at it, and that ability gives you some fantastic advantages over other traders in the market, because there's a lot of competition out there. And if you want to add to what you've got, those alert systems are there for you if you want to take advantage of them. But it's an exciting business, isn't it?